Welcome back. I'm Steve Hand. This is self-improvement for normal people using music to enhance your mood. And today I had a request for ranking the albums of Kansas. I'm doing this solo today. Rich and Dennis are not here. They're not huge Kansas fans like I am. So I'm going to do this myself. I'm ranking the albums of Kansas from 15 down to 1. I'm going to try to comment on each of their albums. I'm going to separate this into 3 parts because your time is valuable and our attention spans are limited. So let's get started. We're going to start with 15. Before I forget, let me just add that even their worst album is better than most bands' medium to top albums. So, it's a very difficult task for me, but I did it anyway. So we're going to start with number 15. The number 15th ranked Kansas album is Drastic Measures. Okay, Drastic Measures was put out in 1983, and this was right after the band reorganized. The lineup included a replacement for Steve Walsh as lead singer, John Elefante, Kerry Livgren, who was with the band since the beginning, Rich Williams, who continues to be with the band as the guitarist. Dave Hope was the original bassist. He stayed with the band. And Phil Ehart, the drummer, who has been with the band from the beginning. This was not a bad album. The songs on it, side 1, Fight Fire with Fire, which was a pretty good hit. It was actually released as a single. Good hit, but not spectacular. Kansas is known as a progressive rock band. There's nothing progressive about that song. It's like as if it were like Foreigner could have put out this single and would have been kind of an average single. I guess it's kind of, to me, an average Kansas song. Everybody's My Friend, not a great song. Mainstream, just doesn't do it for me. Andy, not memorable. Going Through the Motions, kind of not great. Get Rich, I thought, was one of their better songs on this album, side 2. Don't Take Your Love Away. End of the Age, Incident on a Bridge. Again, they're okay songs, but there's no violin in it. John Elefante did a good job on vocals, but there's only one Steve Walsh, and I just think they lost a little something when they changed lineups so drastically. 1983, there was at that time Steve Walsh had started his own band called Streets, which, it wasn't Kansas anymore. Okay, so I'm putting my own 2 cents worth in here, no pun intended. The number 14th ranked album is called The Prelude Implicit. It released in 2016, actually their next to last album that they've put out. It's quite a different lineup. The only ones who stayed on were Phil Ehart and Rich Williams from the beginning. Now, David Ragsdale was the violinist for many years, decades. He took over for Robbie Steinhardt, did an excellent job. He's on this album. Billy Greer took over for Dave Hope as the bassist. Excellent. And he had been with the band for decades. Rizvi did a lot of the writing here. They all contributed to the writing. Ronnie Platt took over as the lead singer. Kansas has only had 3 lead singers in their entire time, and he's been the lead singer since about 2016. This album included With This Heart, Visibility Zero, The Unsung Heroes, Rhythm in the Spirit, Refugee, Voyage of 818, Camouflage, Summer, Crowded Isolation, and Section 60. To me, the strongest songs were With This Heart, Rhythm in the Spirit, and Summer. Mike Slamer actually played guitar on Refugee, and pretty good song, but still not that memorable, except maybe for Rhythm in the Spirit, I think. But it did retain the essence of Kansas. And again, Kansas is Kansas. There are no bad albums, just that's the 14th best. 13th best. Number 13, The Absence of Presence, put out in 2020. That's their most recent album. Mostly the same lineup as Prelude Implicit. Brislin, Ehart, Platt, Rizvi did most of the writing on it. It included the title track, Throwing Mountains, which I thought is a fantastic song. Actually, it's much better than average Kansas song. Terrific song. Jets Overhead, Propulsion 1, Memories Down the Line, Circus of Illusion, Animals on the Roof, another good song. Never, the song the river sang. So I thought that was a slight improvement over Prelude Implicit. And it retains a lot of the progressive rock feel of Kansas. Several memorable tunes, but still, you know, I was kind of spoiled by their first 6 albums or so. And ranking number 12, Vinyl Confessions. Okay, this is what Vinyl Confessions looks like. Okay, this was put out in 1982. And this was after, this was just before, actually, Drastic Measures. And, of course, John Elefante was the lead singer. Then he took over for Steve Walsh. The other members of the band at the time were Kerry Livgren, Robbie Steinhardt, Rich Williams, Dave Hope, and Phil Ehart. The songs were Play the Game Tonight, which was released as a single, good single. It's, you know, it's got a good melody to it, and it's pretty powerful. John Elefante does a good job with the lead vocals. Right Away is a good song, and Fair Exchange, Chasing Shadows. I think Chasing Shadows is one of the better songs here. It's one of the softer Kansas songs. The melody's great. It holds together fantastic. That's a real highlight of this album. Diamonds and Pearls. I wish they hadn't recorded that. I didn't like it. Doesn't do anything for me. Below average Kansas song. Side 2, Face It, Windows, Borderline, Play On, and Crossfire. There's nothing really progressive about this album. You know, most of the songs are classic rock style. Some of them would have done okay if they were released as singles. But again, nothing that stand out about it. Nothing that terrific that I would say is even above average for Kansas. Okay, so my favorite songs were Play the Game Tonight, Right Away, and Chasing Shadows. The 11th ranked song is called, album, I'm sorry. Their 11th ranked album is called Somewhere to Elsewhere, released in the year 2000. At this point, this was after Kansas had gone through these personnel changes, and they brought the band together. The Walsh, Livgren, Steinhardt, Williams, Ehart, and a combination of Billy Greer / Dave Hope on the bass. They kind of took turns. So, yeah, a lot of these songs had been written by Kerry Livgren. It kind of saved him for Kansas as a whole because he had gone and formed his own Christian rock band. But for this album included Icarus 2, which is a fantastic song. Actually, one of their best songs ever. When the World Was Young, which is a strong song too. Grand Fun Alley, which Robbie Steinhardt takes the lead vocal in. Disappearing Skin Tight Blues, which Steinhardt also sang. Not Man Big, The Coming Dawn, Myriad, Look at the Time, Distant Vision, and Byzantium. Some of the songs, side 2, they kind of were not that memorable, and they just didn't have that old Kansas feel to it. But like I say, there were some really strong songs here. They did not go on tour after that together. They just came together for the recording of it. So, Drastic Measures, Prelude Implicit, Absence of Presence, Vinyl Confessions, Somewhere to Elsewhere, from 15 to 11. All good albums, but compared to the other albums I'm going to talk to you next time about, a little bit less favorable. So, thank you for watching. Let me know what your comments are, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you next time.